I was listening to this podcast on my walk earlier this evening, and it was a wonderful reminder, but a little bit of a hard pill to swallow because um, the the topic was talking about, like, are you somebody who is complaining about your life? Are you somebody who is crying to God and be like, why me? How come my life is not great? Or how come so and so gets all the blessings, all the great things, all the looks, the people, the family, the relationships, the money, and I'm here. I've done all my best. Like, I've done so much, but I really haven't gotten anything. I'm here waiting, and it's like, what's happening? Are you someone who is sitting back and looking at your life and being like, why me? How come things aren't going the way that I want? And sometimes that's reality. Like, you haven't yet been to the place that you want to be, and then you're sitting back and evaluating yourself in your life, and you're like, how come this doesn't happen? But if you want to be honest with yourself, because I believe you need to be honest with yourself in order to evaluate and see, like, have I done the right things? Have I stayed committed? Have I been making the right decisions? Have I been consistent? And if the answer is honestly not really, and then I think that allows you to start taking ownership in your life, because you can't be upset if you haven't put in the work and the reps to get the thing that you really wanted to do. You could say that you want something, but then you half-ass it. Like, you don't put in all of the work. You might post a few times about something that you're trying or doing it or wanting, and think that that's going to be enough. You have maybe like a handful of followers, and maybe you think that going live once will bring you fame. It doesn't really happen like that. And even if you heard someone say, like, I have X amount of followers, or I have less than 1,000 followers, and I'm making X amount of money, I think you don't know this person. They most likely had other things going on. They could have maybe started a new account. Maybe they're more well known. They could have ran ads. You really don't know exactly how someone has gotten to that place, but that's the point, is not to sit there and try to compare your life to everyone else and think, oh, why me? Oh, crying out like I haven't made it, when it's just, maybe it's not your time. Maybe the timing is not aligned. There's other things that you might need to experience and go through in order to be able to sustain the life that you're meant to be in the next season of life. And if you're someone who's like, okay, so I realize you honestly took evaluation of your life and say, you know what? I haven't put in all the work. I haven't put all the effort into it. And I know that's why I haven't. So now what can I do to get the results that I actually want in my life? I think sometimes we're not as honest with ourselves. Sometimes we like to be like, oh, you, like, I think often I hear, and I've experienced, and I've done it myself, it's that mentality of, oh, you deserve it. Oh, you've been doing this for like 3-4 days. It's fine. Grab a cookie. You're good. Like, instead of being more disciplined with yourself and allowing yourself to put off the minor or the immediate gratification of things, like knowing that the first couple of videos you put out might not get the amount of views that you're hoping for, knowing that you're going to have to put in more hours of creating content, knowing that you're going to have to read more books to expand your knowledge, knowing that you have to take more classes, knowing that you might need to get mentorship, go through some courses and programs in order to get to that next level of your life, knowing that this is not the end, this is just a starting point into the next phase of my life. Having that perspective and knowing that it's not having not such a negative outlook on your life allows you to create a life that you actually want. And being someone who is willing to put in the work, no matter if you're 20, 30, 50, 60, 80, like you can adapt, change your life, and put in the work no matter what stage or age that you're in. And even if you're currently in the stage of your life where you're not fully, you might not like the life that you have, you can make the changes every single day. You can put in the work to get to the next phase. I believe it might sound cliche, but it's really about the journey. I think when I look back at my life and I think about how I started my journey as a creative person, as a photographer, and how that led to the school that I decided that I wanted to be at. Because of my situation, my family and everything, and everything I knew at that time, the knowledge that I had to decide and pick the school that I wanted to go to. Then to the jobs that I had, and then to the other jobs that I had, and now to today. There's so many other moments within that, but everything in your life will lead to something else, to the next thing. And I think you can rest knowing that this is not final. This part of your life that you're in can change if you're willing to be committed and put in the work to create new daily practice for yourself. And if you hear like bad news or not so great news, knowing that you can make the changes to shift and change your life, it is very much possible. And sometimes it's not easy. Like for me, going on this health journey of trying to figure out ways that I can keep myself healthy and make sure that I'm doing the things for the longevity of my life. Because in the past, I was blessed to not have to feel like I had to work so much for the healthy life that I had. But then when I got lazy and I didn't stay committed to working out every day or eating healthy, I just did whatever I felt like and wanted to. I was just like, oh, it's fine, I'll be okay. And then looking at myself and I was like, wait, this is not, I don't really recognize this person. And then I was like, I had to be honest with myself, and it's definitely been a challenge that I've been dealing with currently, but it's something that I know that I have to stay committed to if I want the life that I want in the future. And it's not going to be easy. It has not been easy. And there's days where like I'm doing good and then it's like not so good. And then we're getting back up there, maybe not. So it's been a roller coaster. Like life is not linear. Like you don't just, everything's good all the time everywhere. It's like, it's good, maybe not so good. We're doing all right. We're back at it, maybe not anymore. And that's okay. Like I mentioned this in a previous video, but I think it's important to mention again, is when I was in college, there was a professor I had, and there was a phrase or a quote that he said, and it was, "This soon shall pass." No matter if something good is happening in your life, that will pass. Something bad is happening in your life, that will pass. You just have to know and learn how to manage each season of your life, no matter if it's good, bad, or whatever. It's life. And it's kind of like when you're a child growing up, I don't know about you, but I didn't feel like I had to, or I didn't feel like I had a lot to worry about. I was just focused on being in school, playing sports, living life. Like, where was the food at? That was all I was really focused on. But when you turn and shift into adulthood, especially if you're like me, in my early young stage of life, there are a lot of new lessons you have to learn, especially if you haven't fully been the driver of your life. What I'm talking about is you didn't allow life to just be, but you're someone who wants to build the life intentionally, create a vision for your life. If that is you, then it does require work. It's not going to be easy. Another thing within that podcast was life is about sacrifice. And sometimes that doesn't feel fun, because when you're younger, you're like, life is fun. You just get to play in the playground and do whatever you want. But sacrificing and giving up something doesn't always have to be a bad thing. An example he said was like, if you're married, or if that was the example, if you're married and you are trying to stay committed in your relationship, you're going to sacrifice certain things, certain pleasures in life for staying committed. And I'm not saying that there's no pleasures in marriage, but I'm saying like there could be things like certain people, certain conversations, certain things you might wear or not wear depending on your relationship. There's going to be certain things you give up to keep that relationship. And when you're single and you're not in a relationship, there's other sacrifices that you make. So whatever line, whatever side of the grass that you're in, there's going to be a sacrifice. If you're someone who's trying to gain weight or lose weight, you're going to have to sacrifice certain things. If you're trying to build a business, you're going to have to sacrifice maybe some more time. Maybe you're going to have to sacrifice some money or whatever that is. You're going to have to invest in certain things. And that's just a part of building the life that you want. Life is about sacrifices. You're going to have to, and I used to think that have to was a bad word. I don't even care. Have to. If you do not do this thing, you will not have the life that you want. You can't complain if you wake up and you're not happy with your situation. You have to take ownership with the things that are in your life, whether it's what you look like, how you dress, the people you know, the money you make. You have to take ownership with that. And if you're like, hey, I haven't really been putting in the work, I've just kind of been letting life pass me by, then it's time to stop and start taking a U-turn. Sometimes taking a U-turn can take some time for some people, but you just gotta start turning that wheel and be like, let's go the other way. I don't want to choose this, so let me go the other way. And it's not gonna be easy. Life is full of sacrifices. But I believe building life with more discipline is much more satisfying than just letting life pass you by and allowing other people, other things to dictate what you want. But being able to be someone who's like, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to commit to, this is the vision that I have for my life, and I'm going to stay on this path, I'm going to stay committed no matter how the journey and what God has for me, then I believe that is the life, and that's the things that you're going to have to commit to every single day.